Ever wondered, how do you get into the inner circle, whether it's church, whether it's community organization, whether it's on your job? How do I get into the leadership inner circle? How do I get behind the veil to get to where I'm trying to get to? Good morning, everybody. What a wonderful morning it is. And this morning, we're starting the week off talking about leadership. And I want to just break the ice this morning on this morning's Manna. We're talking about the leadership inner circle. The leadership inner circle. I'm always going to give you the text to talk, the takeaway, 5 minutes or less. And I just want to greet a couple of people before we get into it. Good morning, Arlene. Good morning, Verena. How are you on this morning? Let me tell you guys a little story as we gather the audience so I can share this morning's manna. I remember when I was in the Air Force, and, it was kind of tough. And as a second lieutenant in particular, a butter bar, as we called second lieutenants, and to deal with trying to get ahead, get promoted. How do I get promoted? And it always appeared to me that those who were not of the same melon as mine, the same hue or color as mine, were always seemingly to get ahead far quicker and far better and faster than I was. I wanted to know, how do I get into the inner circle? Well, that's what just comes to my mind and to share with you on this morning. And we're going to be talking about leadership all week long, giving you some insights about leadership, because I think that is critical in our walk and our success in life. So 5 minutes or less, let me get right into it. The text to talk and the takeaway. Here's what you need to do. Share the revelation that you get. Put it in the chat area. If it's your first, second, or third time joining us, please let us know who you are, where you are, so we can welcome you to the Manna fam. Here's the text. Matthew 17:1. Matthew 17:1. And here is the context of the text before I read the text. Here is Jesus. They are making their way to Jerusalem. They have previously discussed who he was in the 16th chapter, and he has differentiated himself in many ways. Now, Jesus, in 17:1, is about to take his inner circle to the Mount of Transfiguration. Therein lies, I believe, the lessons that we can learn. Matthew 17:1. After 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter, James, and John, led them up a high mountain by themselves. As you already know, they're on the Mount of Transfiguration. Jesus is about to reveal a side of himself that he's not revealed to anyone before. He takes the so-called inner circle, Peter, James, and John, the same ones that he would take in when he wanted to heal Darius' daughter, the same ones that he takes into the Garden of Gethsemane, the inner circle. What can we learn from this in terms of our own progress and our own trying to get into the inner circle? 3 things. The first thing is this. Look at the text and you will see it lays it out. They were willing to be led. They were willing to be led. Put that in the chat area. Notice this. If you look there, it says after 6 days, Jesus took them with him, Peter, James, and John, and led them. He led them. In order to be led, that means you have to be willing to submit and follow. Sometimes we want to lead before we're ever showed our worth in following. So they were willing to be led through their submission and their fellowship. The second thing is this. They were willing to climb. Notice he took them to a very high mountain. That meant that they had to exert themselves. They had to extend themselves. They had to, put out some stuff. They really had to put some energy in what Jesus wanted them to do. Before he could get them to the place that he could reveal himself in a very different way to them, they had to extend themselves. They went and climbed the mountain. Are you willing to climb? Are you willing to exert yourself? Are you willing to submit and follow? Here's the third thing. The third thing is this. They were willing to be alone with Jesus. Notice he said he took them to a high mountain by themselves. By themselves. In other words, they were willing to have some quiet time. Some quiet time. I have found that when I have made the most progress, whether it was when I was in the military, my Air Force career, whether it's in the church, whether it is in community leadership, when I take my time and get with Jesus to hear his voice, inevitably I'm pulled into the circles I'm trying to get into. What's your takeaway this morning? Your takeaway is this: Jesus' inner circle is open to anyone who wants to pay the cost. It's open to anyone who wants to pay the cost. And if I get into his inner circle, there is no inner circle that he has for me that I cannot eventually get into. The Lord be with you today. His face shine upon you and give you peace. Talking about leadership this morning and this week. Share the manna. If it bless you, bless somebody else. Don't keep it to yourself. Bye now.